Here's the next lesson, that is pointer arithmetic. In this lesson, we would be learning incrementing and decrementing a pointer and some important points about pointer. So let us start with pointer arithmetic by incrementing and decrementing a pointer. Variable pointer can be incremented. Incrementing a variable pointer gives us the access to each succeeding element of an array. It is important to note that a variable pointer which is pointing to a single variable cannot be incremented or decremented, whereas a pointer variable which is pointing to a given array can be incremented or decremented. Because after incrementing a pointer variable that is pointing towards the array would give us the next succeeding element of that array. Same goes with decrementing a pointer. It decreases the value by number of bytes of its data type. Let us have a look at example. Here we have a pointer variable of type float which is pointing to an array A. So first it would initially point to A0, that is at the address 54. Now when we increment a pointer, that is we do ptr++, it would not point to 55, but it would actually point to A of 1 at the address 58. This is because after incrementing a pointer, it does not point to the next memory location. It points to the next integer or corresponding data type value in an array. So if we increase a pointer by 6, then it would go 24 bytes ahead because each floating value takes 4 bytes. So 6 4s gives 24. So the pointer after adding 6 would point to float A of 6, that is at the address 6C. Let us get it more clear by looking at the code. Let us first include the header file and start with our main function. Here I have an array ARR of type integer and which has 5 values, and we would specify them as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now I have one integer type pointer ptr which is first pointing to the address of ARR of 0. We can do initialization at the time of declaration simultaneously in this way. Now let me apply for loop int I equal to 0, I is less than 5 and I++, which would traverse through the entire array. Now let us first print address of element. And if we need to print the address using pointer, so we would print it using format specifier %x, because the type of value stored in ptr variable is an address. So ptr would give an address. Now let us print the value pointed by the variable ptr. Now as the value pointed by the variable ptr is of type integer, so we would use the percentage specifier %d, and we would use dereference operator, that is star ptr, which would give the value pointed by the address located in ptr. We need to update the pointer because in the next iteration the pointer should point to the next variable. So we will do ptr++. Let us save it and try to run it. So here we get the address of first element as 0, 4 and the value is 1, which is ARR of 0, that is 1. Now when we do ptr++ and print the next address, rather than becoming 05, it becomes 08, because after incrementing a pointer, it points to the next integer element. And an integer element takes 4 bytes, so it is incremented by 4 bytes automatically. So this is how pointer arithmetic works. In the same way, we can decrement a pointer by using a decrement operator, that is --. Now let us learn some important points about pointer. The dereference operator, that is star, means value at given address. Pointer can be incremented and decremented. But addition of pointers is not allowed, because let's say if I add 2 pointers, it would give a memory location which might not be specified in memory. So it is not allowed to add 2 pointers. Whereas it is allowed to subtract 2 pointers, because we would do the subtraction of 2 pointers, that is 2 addresses, which are specified in memory location. So the result would be somewhere between those two addresses. It would give a specific value. Let's have a quick recap. Variable pointer can be incremented and decremented, which gives next or previous element in an array respectively. Rather than just jumping by 1 byte, it jumps to the next element by taking corresponding bytes. The addition of pointers is not allowed. In the next coming lesson, we would be learning void pointer and dangling pointers in detail.